Who were you most excited about? I'm sure you're excited about all of them, but was there one in particular where you're like, I cannot believe they're a part of this season?
I mean, for me, just on a personal level, like Usher, because Usher was the first concert I've ever been to.
Hey friends, it's your girl Emily Curl with iHeartRadio, and today we are joined by artist and rapper Lil Dicky, and you know him from his show Dave. Lil Dicky, it's so good to see you. First and foremost, congratulations, season 3 out now.
Oh, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
This is exciting because when I told all my friends that we were getting an interview with you this morning, they're all so jealous. They love Dave. They were so excited about this. We're big fans of the show. How does it feel? I mean, it just premiered last night. How are you feeling this morning?
Sounds like you have a wonderful group of friends. I feel good. No, it's cool. You're working on this thing in like this room that I'm in right now, which is like a very small room, and like I don't really talk to anybody about it. And then you put the episodes out, and then you get feedback from the world that they love it. So it's like a great feeling to put it out there and get the positive feedback.
You said that this season 3, you've never been prouder of anything. I'm curious for you, because we've got 2 full seasons of Dave. What was different about this season that really resonated with you?
Well, I just think that, there's like learnings that occur. So it's like season 1, I come in and I'm like a rapper who has never even like written a script, So it's like I didn't fully know what I was doing, and I was learning on the fly, and I had an idea of what I wanted to do, but I'm in real time, like it's like I'm like a newborn baby as far as like filmmaking is concerned. Season 2, I have learnings from season 1 and I apply them. And then season 3, I have learnings from both seasons about like, what did I like the best about season 1? What did I like the best about season 2? Oh, those 2 things, let's combine them and make the best of both worlds in season 3. And I think just from a rhythm perspective, the cast, the DP, the directors, we're all just like so on the same page now that there's no like growing pains. It's more just like, what's our ideal outcome? Great, let's go attack it. And we're ready to do that now.
Yeah, we opened season 3. I've only watched the first episode, okay? And I have to tell you, the first episode made me sad. I was so sad for Lil Dicky, because I know you're looking for love. You're on Looking for Love tour.
Yeah.
Are there similarities between like what Lil Dicky is going through in this season and what you're going through in your personal life?
Well, I'd say my past personal life, like thankfully I found the one, and I have like a girlfriend who I'm obsessed with. But, before I met her, I was definitely like dating for 5 to 7 years, like really like actively looking for a girlfriend, looking for my wife. And yeah, it was like a huge part of my life. Like I felt like, my entire, like there wasn't a night like I went out where like my main focus wasn't like, am I going to meet her tonight? You know what I mean? So I think this really is a big part of who I'm, a hopeless romantic. And I wanted to just show that side of me this season.
Would we ever, like in future seasons, like have the meet cute of you and your actual girlfriend? Like, would that ever be a part of it? Would she ever make a cameo?
Hey, I think she's pretty dynamic. We'll see.
I also want to talk about the cameos you do have in this season. So Rick Ross, Usher, Demi Lovato, Machine Gun Kelly, Megan Fox, Travis Barker. I'm curious, how do you decide who you want to be in there? And then what is the process for going out to these people being like, do you want to be a part of Dave?
Yeah. And just so you know, that honestly, that list scratches the surface. There's so many more names that I couldn't even name because they're so unbelievably explosive that you just have to like see it to believe it. But it varies. Like, first off, I definitely like write them into the show first and foremost. And like, I try not to have too many like where I'm just like walking in a hallway and like someone's like, what up, Dave? And like, I'm like, hey, and that's the extent of the scene. Like I'd rather, use like, pop culture is something that I've always like loved and I've always cared about, and like what the show allows me to do is like there's all these like pop cultural figures out there that are like differently known for different reasons, and like with the show you have to like build characters and like people have to like learn who are these people. With some of these people, everyone knows exactly who they are and they've been knowing for years, so their character is like pre-established. So if I like I've never had Larry David in the show, but like if Larry David was in the show, you'd know exactly who he was. And like by the time he walked on and said hi, you'd kind of understand what the interaction could be like. And we try to write to the personas of the people. And as far as how we get them, I reach out personally and I charm myself. I pride myself in a pitch.
So you like have the character in mind, like what celebrity you want to make a cameo before you even start writing it.
Yeah. Now it's a little irresponsible sometimes to like, write a whole episode about somebody, and then people in the writers' room are like, "Why are we like dedicating 2 weeks of time writing this episode about this like incredibly major celebrity that Dave you don't even know personally?" And I say, you just got to have faith.
So was there an episode you had to cut because they said no? Can you tell us?
No, there wasn't, but there was a lot of episodes where like I wrote them on blind faith in myself. And like, had the person said no, we would have been in like deep trouble. But luckily they didn't say no.
Who were you most excited about? I'm sure you're excited about all of them, but was there one in particular where you're like, I cannot believe they're a part of this season?
I mean, for me, just on a personal level, like Usher, because Usher was the first concert I've ever been to.
Was it?
Yeah, so it's like my first experience in live music was going to an Usher concert. I've always been the biggest Usher fan. Never met him, so to meet him like on the set of my show about my life and literally in the scene, I'm telling him, "You're the first concert I ever went to." It's like such a full circle moment.
Wow. And where was the concert?
It was like in Hershey, Pennsylvania or something. It was like a fest. I went with my overnight camp. Honestly, went to an overnight camp, and then
Wait, so how old were you?
it was like 10 or 11. But this man was on stage, and he was like, women were just weeping in the crowd because they were like Usher, and it was like I was like looking around. And I was like, this is amazing.
What was the Usher song as a 10 or 11-year-old? What was the Usher song that really got you fired up? That really got you going?
Well, when You Got It Bad drops and he goes like, oh no, like to start the song, that's always been like, that was my ringtone at one point, I think.
Oh my God, that's epic. I can't wait to see the episode. You mentioned other characters. Gata's back again. He's a fan favorite. I saw in an interview that he said that this was a different season for you guys because y'all really explored like a lot of intimate things going on in your life. And that also was cool because you're his best friend on screen and off screen. So tell me a little bit what it's like working with Gata and again, crafting those storylines.
Gata, is a dream come true of a human being first and foremost. So it's like Gata, I've been touring and traveling and hanging out with Gata for like pretty much 8 years or maybe more now. And as soon as I met this man, it was like anyone who met Gata even before the show would meet him and be like, wow, is that guy like a star or a famous rapper? Or like, who is that guy? Like he carries himself like such a star. And putting him in the show is such a no-brainer. And he's, he'd never acted before, but he's such a natural. And I knew that Gata was going to be like really funny and like really compelling, but I didn't know that he was going to be like the emotional backbone of the whole, you know what I mean? Like I didn't know it. Like obviously he's like a very sensitive guy and he wears his heart on his sleeve, but like it's such a different thing when like there's like a crew of like 70 people and everyone's filming you and you're supposed to like have like a deeply emotional scene about like a deeply personal part of your life. And I couldn't be more thankful of Gata to like open up his life and let me share his stories in this show. And all I can do is hope to do his story justice.
How much of are the scenes, especially when you're working with such a close friend like that, are scripted versus improv? Do you guys improv some, or is it mostly just going straight off the script?
It's a lot of both. Like there's definitely a script. We always say the script is just the starting point. Like I say, and my writers get mad when I say this to the actors, but I say the words don't matter. I say it's like all about the sentiment, So if I come into it, if the scene is like me and Gata talking about, our love of pizza, like I just need Gata, like if the scene requires Gata to like pizza, that's all I really need of him to know in that moment. And then he can like pizza in any way he wants, as far as like whatever comes naturally to his mind. And that I think allows for such a more naturalistic style of acting. Like all of the characters in the show, like we're all kind of genuinely friends. And there's so many added value jokes when people are just like free to not like say exactly what's on the script. And I really encourage everyone to be themselves at all times. Even the guest stars, when they come on, I say,
really?
Don't worry.
Yeah, just like go for it.
Yeah, just like what it's this, like as long as people understand the sentiment of what's going on, and like there are certain beats to hit, but beyond that, just like let your brain exist and live in the moment, because that's when the best acting will come.
Of all the characters and guests you've had on the show, who's most likely to make you laugh or break character in a scene?
Probably Andrew Santino, the guy who plays Mike. He's a stand-up comedian.
He is hysterical.
He kills me. Like it's so hard to his react. If you watch the show, like anytime I'm like editing the show and I'm like, I don't know where to cut to next, I just say like, okay, well, what's the camera on Santino doing? Because like no matter what is said, his reactions are so funny. He gives the perfect reactions all the time.
I think you just
What is it?
Turn the thing.
Oh.
So because you guys are doing a lot of improv and ad-libbing, what does like a typical shooting schedule look like?
It takes a while. I can tell you, like when guests act, like when rappers come on set and they're like, oh my God, I didn't realize it, because you shoot the same thing over and over and over. And it's like, because basically you have to get it in all types of different sizes. So we'll like start with like a wide, and like in the wide, we have like 2 cameras that are wide, and like we do the scene like twice fully in the wide. Then we'll like move to mediums. We'll do it like 3 times in the medium. Then we'll move to tights, do it 3 times. And then we'll be like, okay, well, I want to pick up this moment, that moment, and just make sure we get this like line like perfectly in like 3 different styles of delivery. And it's really kind of just like Groundhog Day because we're doing the same thing over and over again. But that's why I like improv, because if you give people the freedom to kind of do it differently, then you're like, people are saying things that surprise me, and then you're going to get a real honest reaction out of me as opposed to knowing what's coming.
Yeah. I mean, we, last season, the season finale, I got to ask you about the VMA performance, because we heard that took a long time to film, the rehearsal with you and Gaeta, the explosive like ending. What was that like? What was that process filming that scene?
It was, well, here's the thing. It's like, I in my mind, I was like, look, I'm treating this the way I would treat if I was performing at the real VMAs. You know what I mean? Like, this is like, it needs to be represented, like it needs to feel like the VMAs, and then my character in the show would feel very strongly about being as great on the VMAs as me in real life would feel, So I took it. The only problem is it's not like when you do the VMAs or whatever, you'd have like weeks to rehearse and like really like focus your life on that. I was shooting like episode 9, episode 8, like as all that was like being prepped. So it was like caring as much about how it felt, but without having any of the prep time. But luckily, like I partnered with this incredible director, Alma Harrell, who like really like was, thank God for Alma, because she was able to just like take that thing on by the bull of the horns or whatever the expression is, and she just dominated. And it was really cool. I was really proud of that episode. That episode's awesome.
Yeah, it's so good. How are you going to top that scene though? Like, how is this finale going to beat that one?
Oh my God! Just remember you asked that question when you watch this year's finale, and I think you'll very soon, within the first 5 minutes of the finale, you'll say,
You'll know.
"Oh, that's how." Yeah.
Oh, and of course, we're iHeart, so we've got to ask about music. Lil Dicky, like releasing music. Like, can we expect, some of the songs released from the episodes, more music from you personally?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to happen. I feel like it's hard because the show takes up so much time. Like truly, like I can't even, like I'm working like 16-hour days, 7 days a week for like 12 months straight just to make a season. And because I'm involved in every detail, like I'm writing it, acting it, editing it, scoring it, all that stuff. So it's such a time suck, the show is. But then when the show ends, I'm boom, right back in the studio, and there's a lot of great music in the show this season. And yeah, you're going to get a body of music for sure. And I'm going to put out music. It's just about, I just don't want to like, I've took this long. I'm not going to like half-ass the delivery. Like, I just want to have all the ducks in a row as far as the rollout of the music, which I haven't been able to properly do.
Well, we're excited for that. We're excited for season 3. Dave, thank you so much for your time. Congratulations again.
Thank you for joining. I thank you for having me, I should say. And thank you for joining this Thank you for joining.
Thank you all so much for watching. Go check out Dave season 3. It's out now, and we'll see you next time. Bye, guys. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. Did you like that video? You can check out more over here. And don't forget to subscribe to iHeart right here. And if you're already a longtime fan, make sure you ring the bell down below so you don't miss a single video. Bye guys.